Tonight on Connecticut's news station, 8 workers injured after a building under construction collapses in New Haven. The meticulous rescue and how crews rush to save lives.
Also tonight, police in one Connecticut city are looking for whoever killed a woman and injured a man in a shooting.
We averted an economic crisis, an economic collapse.
And debt disaster avoided. Congress passes a deal to prevent the U.S. from suffering an historic default. We hear from the president tonight.
Breaking news now on Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Where an investigation is underway after a building under construction collapsed. Good evening, I'm Jen Bernstein.
And I'm Ben Goldman. 8 construction workers were injured as the building on Lafayette Street partially collapsed while they were spreading concrete today. It happened around 12:30 this afternoon. The concrete started to pool and the workers became trapped in it. The concrete pooled too much in one area and caused the collapse. 6 workers were pulled out of the building. 3 of them were partially buried under the rubble and were lifted by firefighters after falling several floors into wet concrete.
We have live team coverage in New Haven tonight of the building collapse. Gabby Molina will join us in moments to talk about how people in the Elm City are reacting to what happened. But first, we do want to get to Jake Garcia, who is live on the scene on Lafayette Street with the latest on tonight's investigation. Jake.
Well, Ben and Jen, all is quiet here at 188 Lafayette Street here in New Haven after investigators spent much of the afternoon trying to learn what led up to that partial collapse.
Response here was very quick, was efficient. We're very fortunate that no one was killed here.
Just after 12:30 Friday afternoon, police received several 911 calls reporting a loud noise and a partial building collapse at 188 Lafayette Street in New Haven. Officials say 36 construction workers were pouring concrete at the time of the collapse.
As they were pouring concrete, a portion of the second floor collapsed onto the first floor and then into the basement.
The construction project, which is being led by RMS Companies out of Stamford, sits next to an apartment complex. Once first responders arrived, a rescue began to pull those trapped to safety. 8 people were taken to Yale New Haven Hospital to be treated. Hospital officials say 1 is in serious condition.
It appears from their statements that it began to pool in a certain area faster than they could, and it caused it to cave all the workers that were in that area. Some walked away.
First responders brought in a team of cadaver dogs to search the area before clearing the scene, though all the crews were accounted for.
Our hope is the dogs will go in just to make sure, as a secondary search, to make sure things are good. As the chief said, make sure that they can go home tonight and go to sleep knowing that someone by chance was not.
The New Haven fire chief says after the recent collapse in Iowa, his team were keeping how they would respond top of mind.
They did some excellent work under some harrowing conditions. I'm very proud of that, considering what happened in Iowa recently. We've been talking about collapses in our areas, and they responded admirably.
Now OSHA is leading the investigation with the New Haven Police Department assisting. A stop work order has been issued as investigators will spend the next several days determining what happened. Live in New Haven, Jake Garcia, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Jake, thank you. It was a difficult and dangerous rescue, but the New Haven Fire Department was able to get everybody out of that building, luckily. Rescuers rushed to the scene and got there in just about 6 minutes' time. Fox 61's Gabby Molina joining us live in New Haven tonight to tell us what went into those life-saving efforts today. Gabby?
Ben, there was a lot of challenges when it came to this rescue. The building, of course, still under construction, so it hasn't really taken shape yet, creating quite a few obstacles for the people trying to get people out of here safely. But firefighters were able to do so in less than 45 minutes.
In my 21 years on this job, it was one of the most impressive rescues I've ever seen.
The call that came into the New Haven Fire Department Friday afternoon is not one the firefighters get very often. A partial building collapse with people trapped under the rubble.
In reality, and I hope this for them, but this is a once-in-a-career call. We always pray they don't come, and for a lot of people, they never do come, but today it came.
But it is a call they're prepared for. New Haven Fire Chief John Alston says the department is highly trained to respond to these scenarios.
So we simulate, we take the equipment out, we find a building that's under renovation or about to be knocked down, and we utilize those tools as well.
The training being put to good use on Lafayette Street, where the team worked quickly, even from up above. setting up an aerial ladder, sending crews in to get those injured out.
They lowered the rope down, packaged the victim in a Stokes basket. We were actually able to lift him out of the collapsed structure and swing him with the aerial ladder, and he literally almost ended up right on the stretcher.
And firefighters dealt with many dangerous conditions, making their way through a construction zone where concrete had just been poured.
There's rebar that's falling in certain areas, which could impale folks, could actually pierce you and puncture your body very easily.
They had thousands upon thousands of pounds of wet concrete, and they just had construction debris. We had about a 20 by 60 area of debris, about 8 feet high.
Ultimately, everyone was rescued from the building and no firefighters were hurt.
That was an incredible rescue.
Officials say once they made their surface rescues, they had to stop all vibrations in the area. So that meant stopping traffic on the ground and in the sky. They did face another big challenge today. I'll have the details on what that was coming up at 11. Live in New Haven, Gabby Molina, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Gabby, thank you. For more on our coverage on the New Haven building collapse today, head to fox61.com or download the free Fox 61 News app. There you can find a complete timeline of what went down, along with updates on the investigation.
Well, it's been a stormy night in parts of the state. Thunder, lightning, and even hail raining down on this Friday night.
And a cool down is on the way. It's already started here. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank to see where things stand now. Rach?
Yeah, temperatures tomorrow will be anywhere from 20 to 30 degrees cooler than it was outside today. So one step forward, 2 steps back when it comes to summer warmth stepping into June. We're done with any threat for severe weather. Earlier today, we saw hail quarter size in some areas like Middletown, like Killingly, like Coventry, for example. We're not expecting that anymore, but still a few leftover showers and maybe a rumble of thunder or two. And then we're drying things out. North Branford seeing some showers. The same is true for Guilford and Madison. You'll see a spot shower here around Andover, but another little area of showers and rumbles of thunder just about to enter northern Litchfield County and northwestern Hartford County too. Another area of steady rain heading into northeastern Connecticut. We'll take the rain because it does look like we are mainly going to be drying things out as we head into the weekend. Tomorrow we might see an early spot shower, but the rest of the day looks dry, albeit cooler. Temperatures right now are in the 60s to right around 70 degrees. Heading through the day tomorrow, again, there is a chance for an isolated shower in the morning. Otherwise, it's cloudy. Notice the temperature doesn't move much. We start off near 60, we finish the day near 60, and we might be able to brighten things up a little bit as we head towards the end of the day. How about Sunday? We've got your full weekend forecast all geared up, and we're going to take a look back at some of the wild weather we had today coming up.
Okay, Rachel, thank you. Well, tonight, Hartford police are searching for the person who shot a man and a woman last night, killing the woman. It happened on Westland Street near Main Street just before 11 o'clock. Police say the woman killed was Shardarian Ellison, and she appears to have been targeted. The man is expected to be okay. Officers tell us they haven't arrested a suspect, but they do have a lot of good information.
It's a lot of shell casings, a lot of personal property left behind. I don't want to get into the details of a crime scene, but lots of stuff to work with.
Anyone with information about the shooting should call Hartford Police.
Well, new at 10 tonight, a New Haven woman is dead this evening after she was in a crash with a car while driving a scooter in Hamden. Police say it happened near the intersection of Moore Street and Winchester Avenue around 3:30 yesterday morning. Officers found 36-year-old Tanisha Wilson unconscious on the ground. She was rushed to the hospital where she was pronounced dead. The car driver remained at the scene and was not injured. Anyone with information about the crash should call Hamden Police.
The suspected driver in a crash that killed a beloved high school basketball coach appeared in court today. J. Muse Workman of Hartford is accused of hitting Kendall May back on March 31st and then leaving the scene. Workman was on probation at the time of the crash and has a lengthy criminal history. May was the head coach at Prince Tech High School. His brother was also in court today.
Just a great person. It's all I can say, just a great person. You had to really know him to understand him. My brother was like a father figure. He was really strict with them, but he was the greatest person. Always made sure he had something for them.
Workman's bond is set at $250,000. If convicted, he faces up to 20 years in prison.
Well, new at 10 tonight, a Hartford man is facing child pornography charges after previously being convicted of sexually abusing a child. Connecticut's U.S. attorney says 32-year-old Jonathan Williams was arrested yesterday after investigators found child sex abuse videos on his laptop. Homeland Security is looking into a group of people sharing pictures and videos of child porn online. Back in 2016, Williams was convicted in North Carolina of third-degree sexual exploitation of a minor. He faces up to 40 years in prison if he's convicted on this latest charge.
Group home workers continue to strike at the state capitol today as they call for higher pay and better benefits. Today's rally comes just one day after more than 50 group home workers were arrested while protesting. Yesterday, the group marched into an intersection near the Capitol and sat down in the road. Workers are demanding pay increases and better benefits in the state budget, which lawmakers have until Wednesday to pass.